break this law down. Spiritual impact produce riqueza material. Материальное богатство. No puedes tratar con personas que van a hacer que parezca que dijiste cosas.
This world must have a Christian that is full of the Holy Ghost and fire. El diablo no está por encima de ti. El diablo no está a tu nivel. وبكرة تحت رجولك أعظم حركة لله بتاريخ الأرض. 我不是在旁观，我正与你们一同参与其中。I see revival sweeping over this earth. Criez Amen encore une fois. Amen.
Hi, my name is Rachel, and I'm in Louisiana. And at 9 years old, I was told that I would never have kids. I started having surgeries, and I've had about 14 surgeries that have taken my right tube, right ovary. The left tube is completely scarred up, and I have hardly a fourth of my left ovary. So I was told there is no possible way except IVF. Once we did IVF twice, we did not go back because we were told that it just wouldn't work anymore. We went to the Festival of Life in 2017 here in Plaquemine, Louisiana, where Jonathan Shuttlesworth was, and he spoke out into the crowd, and he kind of leaned towards my direction, and he said, there is a woman here who was told that she would, I'm getting goosebumps, who was told that she would never have babies.
I also believe at this altar, there's a lady that because of how you lived before you got saved, things got messed up on the inside of you, and they told you you had like a medical episode, and they told you you'll never be able to have a baby again.
And she has hardly no female organs or no female organs at all. But I'm here to tell you to stand firm, stand in your faith that you will have babies, that God will bless you.
But as proof that God has saved your soul, God recreates your ovaries, your womb, and your uterus, and you'll have as many children as you like once you get married. In Jesus' name. That's a fact.
The next year is when I got pregnant with my first baby after trying for over 14 years for a baby. 2 years later, I got pregnant with my second, and 2 years later, I have my third. Three miracle babies when I was told I'd never have any, with hardly any female organs. Like Jonathan said, don't give up. Have that faith.
Hello, Brother Jonathan, Sister Dallas, everyone who is a part of Revival today. This is Stephen, and there are about 30,000 kids that go to the primary schools here at the camp. And at these schools, they get a hot meal every day. The meals that you send keep the kids coming back to school. It allows them to learn, to laugh, to play, to focus on their future rather than on their past. And it's been a tremendous year in 2024. Close to 600,000 children across 24 nations get to taste and see that the Lord is good because of your compassion. And in fact, this year we've been sharing a little bit with you about children caught in conflict zones. That might be in Afghanistan or the Middle East, or the children that are in Ukraine during the tremendous conflict that's taking place there. Around Central Africa, with different conflicts rising, refugees have to flee their villages, have to flee their homes, or face certain death or terrible violence, and they come to find safety where they can. You are reaching out to the least of these. You are really helping provide food and a future to these children. And it reminds me of what the Lord spoke to Moses in Exodus chapter 3. He said, I have seen the misery of the people. I have heard their cries of distress. I am concerned, so I will come down and rescue them. And you are really acting as the hands and feet of Jesus in fulfillment of God's heart, where he sees the misery of others caught in terrible situations. He hears their cries, he has concern, and he comes and he rescues. That's what he's done in our lives. That's what you're doing in the lives of these children here at Kiryandongo, and in the lives of children and hurting people all around the world. Thank you for having a heart to reach out. Thank you for answering the call of God. When I was hungry, you gave me something to eat. And thank you for sharing the hope of Jesus Christ with those that really need to hear it.
I'm Mikey Gonzalez. This is my mom, Pastor Anita Gonzalez. And today we just want to come and share a testimony of what the Lord did with my youngest brother. Long story short, he had suffered from epilepsy. He accidentally fell down during a race. He was dehydrated and he hurt his head. And ever since that day, that was in 8th grade. And from 8th grade to now, it's been about 10 years, he has slowly lost decline in his nervous central system. He was not able to recollect memory. He was not able to understand speech. He would lose his balance. He had a lot of he couldn't control his movements in any way, shape, or form. And the worst part of it all was that he could not sleep. And so I was telling the Pastor Jonathan, was that every 10 minutes or so, he would have a seizure or he would twitch. And so even what doctors say REM sleep is good for you, he could not enjoy, because every time at midnight, 3 in the morning, at 6 in the morning, he would have a major attack. And it was constantly an oppression of the devil upon his life, because he couldn't get out. For as much as we would try to teach him the word of God and Bible verses or pray with him, he wasn't there. So he went from being a presidential honor roll student to like a 2nd grade memory. And so today we came expecting and believing the Lord for a miracle in our younger brother, believing the Lord that he was going to do something in his life, because for 10 years my parents hadn't slept, we haven't slept, we've been standing in faith, believing the Lord, but the manifestation was longing. And so we're like, no, Lord, we're going to give a special offering to the Lord, believing for his miracle. We joined the 21 days of prayer and fasting. That was one of our prayer points. And when we heard Pastor Jonathan was coming here, we're like, no, we're going to believe the Lord that today the oppression ends. And so when Pastor Jonathan came to California, Los Angeles, California, it was literally an answer to prayer. He called each and every one of us out, but specifically the word of the knowledge that the Lord gave him for my younger brother was spot on. I told my parents, it hit the nail on the coffin. It was so accurate. Sure enough, he said that the Lord was going to restore his speech. The Lord was going to restore movement in his body. Everything that the enemy had stolen from him, this was the year of double. And so when he prayed for him, I was sharing with the brothers and sisters that when Pastor Jonathan went to go lay hands on him, he's standing by himself. Unconsciously, he would like fall backwards. But that moment when Pastor was praying, he was standing by himself. He responded. Pastor Jonathan said, "Can I pray for you?" And he himself said, yes. And so when the Lord touched him, I was amazed, because we went home that night rejoicing and praising the Lord. And I want to share this video with you guys. He slept 30 seconds without a single seizure. And then the 30 seconds went to a minute, and then 2 minutes, and then 5 minutes. And the next thing you know, he's sleeping. And you can see this spirit of peace upon his life. He's able to sleep. And so we're really excited to see what the Lord's going to do with him, how the Lord is going to be able to restore completely from the top of his head to the soles of his feet, body, his function, control, his memory, his intellect, everything is coming back. Hallelujah. And so we just want to give all the praise and the glory and the honor to God, because if he could sleep through the night, what is the Lord going to do from now until the rest of the time that the Lord comes? We're going to see that miracle. We're going to see the intelligence come back. We're just going to continue praising God, because we know this is the beginning of a great miracle in progress.
Hi, Revival Today Church. It's Melissa Laughlin with the Blessed Home Project. If you don't know what the Blessed Home Project is, we provide free house cleaning services to people going through difficult situations. Whether they are walking through a health diagnosis, they are a veteran, we go in for caretakers, people that have lost a loved one. If someone is struggling in the community, we go in and provide this free service to them, but more importantly, we're able to share Jesus with them.
I felt 100% at peace. You were Jesus.
In this health journey that we've been enduring for me, a lot of challenges have come our way. The Lord has rallied around us with his hands and feet in every direction in which we look. Some of those hands and feet are our friends with the Blessed Home Project.
To have somebody come in and care for you and just say it's okay and pray with you and sorry. Jeez. Okay. It just made me feel like I wasn't alone in that moment. Like God still saw me. It was a blessing.
And because of the partnership with Revival Today, we have been able to service so many people in the community. We've done outreaches. We had a back to school bash where we were able to provide over 200 backpacks to the local kids. We are now doing ministry nights to bring our recipients and our volunteers to worship together, to continue to minister to them and pray with them. We look forward to all the things the Lord has planned for the future for us. And we thank you for being a part of what we're doing here and joining our mission to bring hope through house cleaning.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Carr, and this is my husband, Cash Carr. We're from Willow, Alaska, and we just wanted to share the testimony of how we have our miracle baby, Spencer. And so starting in January 2023, we're having a hard time having children, and after a 5-year stint following a tragic ectopic pregnancy where I lost one of my fallopian tubes, I also found out my other fallopian tube was damaged from an ovarian cyst I had had previously in college, and so it got so twisted that tube was pretty much non-functional as well. So I was told by my doctors that IVF was the only chance I would ever have of ever having a child. So we started to pursue that route, and it ended up, we found out that the medication, my body rejected it, and that we tried it anyway, but despite our try, it just epically failed, and my body would not respond to it. So we were told, you basically will never have children. It's off the boards. Adoption's your only chance of having your own child, and to just hang it up and just, get over it, you're not having a baby. And so I just really dug into the Word, began binge watching Jonathan and Adalis, and just feeding my faith, because I knew with God all things are possible. And so, after we received that bad news from the doctor, it was in June of 2023, I was at home and I was listening to Jonathan at a revival meeting in Rolette, Texas. And during that meeting, he started telling the story of Hannah and how she wanted a child so bad. And not only just a child, she wanted a son. And that's how I was with little Spencer. I wanted a boy so bad. And while he was telling this story, out of nowhere, he just starts proclaiming, no IVF. You are not going to have to do IVF. I don't care what the doctors told you. You will have your own child, my friend. God is going to do this. And as soon as he said that, this faith just rose up to the side of me, and I'd already talked to my husband about going to what Noah has seen 2023, because I just wanted to be in an atmosphere of faith, to immerse myself in faith, and I knew, if I'm going to believe for this, I need to be around other people who have the faith for the impossible. And so, I was already planning on going, but when Jonathan spoke those words, something inside of me just rose up, and I told my husband, I'm you've got to see, what Jonathan said, because it just, struck me so hard. And so I told my husband, I said, and I don't even know where it came from, it just came pouring out of my spirit. I said, I'm going to Pittsburgh, I'm receiving my miracle, I'm coming home, and I'm having a baby. I was just so matter of fact, and I just knew it. So I flew to Pittsburgh from Alaska, and it was the first night that Dag Hayward-Mills was preaching, and he called people forward for healing. And there were so many people that came forward that he said he was just going to start calling things out, as the Holy Spirit led him. And a couple, of the words of knowledge in, he said, there's someone here and you cannot have a child. Who is this?
You can't have a child. Here. Stand here. God will give you a child. Do you believe it?
And I was just so bold. I'm it's me, and I just started walking forward. I was I don't care if the ushers, are hey, where are you going? I knew that was my miracle, and I wasn't going to stop till I got it. And so he told me, he's God is going to give you a child.
Don't cry. Believe it. Come here. If you are here like that, you want me to pray for you, come. Jesus, you are all powerful. Remember your daughter. What's your name?
Rebecca.
Rebecca. Oh. Thank you. Remember Rebecca, Lord. In Jesus' name, I pray for your healing and your deliverance. Every form of barrenness, whatever the cause, I pray against that now. In Jesus' name. Tears shall no more flow. There shall be joy instead of tears. 1 year from today, may your testimony be beautiful.
You know, he just told me, he's like, don't cry, just believe. And so I went away from that. Yes, exactly. And he also said, as he prayed, because he called other women who were barren forward, and he said, you know, 1 year from today, specifically, he said, 1 year from today, may your testimony be beautiful. And that was July 4th, 2023. And this little miracle baby was born June 7th, 2024 of this year. So it happened 1 year from the date that he proclaimed it would happen. So with man, it might be impossible, and things are impossible with man, but with God, all things are possible. You just have to believe.
The following program contains political discourse, opinions, and footage that many viewers may find offensive. It should not be viewed by anyone ever.
Everything Joe Biden touches turns to shit. Everything.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
Oh, hell no! Whammy!
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Yeah! Bruh.
No!
Whammy! Whammy! Yeah, I'm out the Queenside, grew up in Jamaica, now in Mar-a-Lago, but I'm New York forever. My way like Sinatra, that's how I made it here. I can make it anywhere, Trump Towers everywhere. Mobile with the Riz, no, you never really see those. Sip a Diet Coke, grab a Big Mac at McDonald's. Trump building majesty, 40 Wall Street. Catch me at the plaza, shooting Home Alone scenes, cruising down Broadway. Jet black Cadillac, motorcade slow drop, a fortune like Sajak. Build a skyscraper, Olay's Tower, made another billion, it's like a superpower. Used to hang with John, catch me at the Knicks game, now I'm sitting ringside, MSG all scream my name. Riggers think I'll tap out, they don't know my pedigree. Tell by my attitude that I'm most definitely from Rallies Up magazine, let me begin. I came to win, battle me, guard your chin. I won't ever slack up, commies better back up. Try to cheat again and you'll the whole country act up. Get up, stand up, come on, throw your hands up. If you got the feeling, jump up towards the ceiling. MAGA, let the love flow, Democrats for up. Yo, we know it's do or die, we taking it all back. So, feeling, funkin', amp central force when we got more fun. Bust it out, retribution, Dealey's team. The memes can get memed, it lives coast to coast with on my own machine. I came to get down, I came to get down. So get out your seat and jump around, jump around, jump around, jump around. Trump up, White House bound. Trump, 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 everybody jump. Trump, 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 everybody jump. Trump, 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 Trump. I'll serve just like tiny meatball. If you step out of line, you're taking a fall. Word to your moms, ballparks and farms. I got more rallies than Bible got psalms. And just like the prodigal son, I've returned. Anyone stepping in me, you'll get burned. Cause I got voters and you ain't got none. If you want a battle, come and get some. But if you do, you're a fool, cause DT is the best. After we take your seat, then you can protest. I got the skill, come get your fill. Cause when it's said and done, I'm standing still. I came to get down, I came to get down. So get out your seat and jump around, jump around, jump around, jump around. Trump up, White House bound. Trump, 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 everybody jump. Trump, 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 everybody jump. Trump, 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 Trump.
Usually, the mentally retarded are divided into classifications: the educable, the trainable, and the custodial. Obviously, we can only assess the abilities or potential of the mentally retarded on an individual basis. Seemingly random motions and movements are fairly common among the custodial retarded, and they may take many forms. Sometimes there are motions which seem to have no meaning whatever and may even cause unintentional self-inflicted injuries. The vast majority of the mentally retarded are intelligent enough that they can be taught a great many things. However, there's a wide range of ability even among those considered educable. And their ability to learn obviously varies according to their level of intelligence. Equally important is a stimulating environment. However, we must remember to set realistic standards that are not too high for the individual. Many of the trainable retarded can learn to take certain kinds of household responsibilities, some of which may be more complex than they are usually given credit for. It would be wrong to expect a mentally retarded person to become a master craftsman. The standards are too high. But even in the skilled trades, for example, the mentally retarded can be trained to become valuable assistants. Who are the mentally retarded? They are people. They come in both sexes and in all sizes, shapes, creeds, and colors. Wherever people live, there also live the mentally retarded.
Griffiths. I am here accompanied by my best friend, Patrick Franz. Patrick, we're going to do a little bit of a check the news, or rather check the market before we get started on today's show. Trump trolls Trudeau, captured CEO assassin, and check the market is officially back. We are going to do check the market and check the news as basically like one show from this point forward, even though we're really not going to be here on Thursday or Friday. Yeah. So I guess it's just today and tomorrow only. And then we're going to start back on it next week, Tuesday through Friday at our new time, 10 a.m. All right. Side note, I saw Monique from California, so I wanted to make mention of this. This weekend, we're going to head over to LA to kind of like vet a couple of locations to launch our, that's right, Newest campus, brand new, brand spanking new, LA. So if you're interested, go to RTC LA. We're going to be having a lot of different interest meetings in the following weeks and months to come. And we want you to be a part of it. Monique, where are you in California? Are you near LA? Are you at Orange County? We need to know. And if you're in LA and you're interested, go right online right now and fill out the form. All right, let's get to it. There it is, Patrick. Take it away.
ETFs holding Bitcoin are now, yes, the crypto's largest holders, surpassing creator Satoshi Nakamoto, who nobody knows who it is. Could be the CIA.
Wait, so ETFs are, I thought ETFs were the artwork, the digital artwork. That's not an ETF, or is it?
That's an NFT.
That's an NFT.
Yes.
I'm getting my letters confused.
ETF is an exchange-traded fund, which is a conglomeration of different stocks or one stock that's then traded on an exchange.
Interesting.
So instead of you buying Bitcoin through your cryptocurrency app, you buy it as a stock.
Okay.
Yes, from an exchange.
Wow.
Bitcoin exchange-traded funds are now the largest holders of the flagship cryptocurrency. The 12-spot Bitcoin ETFs in existence have collectively passed $100 billion in assets under management, one of the most successful ETF launches in history. The funds now own slightly more than 1.1 million Bitcoin, equivalent to about 5% of all the Bitcoin in existence, because if you remember, Bitcoin only has a limited supply of 21 million. There won't be any more Bitcoin made. So, yes, continue.
Don't say that loud.
I won't. Collectively, Bitcoin ETFs now own more of the cryptocurrency than the legendary pseudo-anonymous founder Satoshi Nakamoto, who is believed to control as much as 1.1 million Bitcoin.
So we don't know who that is.
We do not.
Huh.
U.S. spot ETFs, 1.1 million. Binance, 633,000. MicroStrategy, 402,000. The U.S. government owns 198,000 Bitcoin, of which almost all of them are actually seized.
Whoa.
So those are, the U.S. government
accounts?
did not buy those.
Right.
They're from seized accounts.
So black market kind of
Correct.
money? Okay.
When they shut down different websites that were on the dark web and things like that, that's when they seized those Bitcoins.
Wow.
Yes. Those Bitcoin. Chinese government, 194,000, and so on and so forth. Robinhood with 100.
How did they do the same? Is it the same? Do you know? Chinese government?
No, I believe the Chinese government actually bought a lot of them.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
So the U.S. is looking into doing a strategic Bitcoin reserve. I've got a video on that later on. Continue. So that's it. We can keep going. Next. That just shows how many different entities own it. Treasury Department may fine small businesses $10,000 or more if they don't file this new report. I thought this was interesting. So basically the gist of it is, if the Corporate Transparency Act that was passed in 21 created a requirement that all small businesses must file this piece of paper that shows who owns those businesses.
Okay.
So you can't have shell companies and things like that anymore. So if you're trying to stay anonymous or run your company through in anonymous ways, or run your investment in anonymous ways so people don't bother you, you can't do that. But they're saying that it's for curbing illicit finance, but it's honestly just because the government wants to find out
who owns
what.
Of course.
Exactly.
So I don't know that I like this.
I don't either.
I don't like it either way. I don't like that there's shell companies out there. I think it's pretty shady. But I also understand the reasoning to protect people's identity, of course. And there's a lot of times that there's like identity politics that come into play, especially when you're acquiring commercial properties. We know that a little bit too well.
And there's if you want to make an investment and you want to remain anonymous, say for example, you want to invest in a company, but you want to be a silent investor, you want to remain anonymous, you do that through a shell company that you own.
Sure.
And so you don't have anything to do. You're just investing. You don't have anything to do with running the company. But it's none of people's business.
Right.
Especially if
like,
it's a private business.
I don't like shell companies, period, because they end up donating to the Democratic Party, and that's why they get all this money like laundered into the DNC. So that I have personal reasons as to why I don't like this.
Yes.
But this just makes government bigger, and we don't like that. So that's the reason why they can go ahead.
And it exposes private companies. Who owns those private companies? They're not public companies.
Sure.
So that's something that people are going to have to comply with or face $10,000. Now, this is being challenged in Texas. So at this time, it's not. I don't think it's enforceable at this point. But a lot of people will have to comply with this.
So I wonder if this is the Corporate Transparency Act passed in 2021. I mean, we're headed into 2025.
Yes.
And I haven't heard much about this. So I wonder how much you can actually enforce this.
I don't think it's going to be enforceable.
Especially state by state.
Exactly. And you've got, there's First Amendment issues, there's things like that
100%.
when it comes to this. So, yeah, I don't know how enforceable it's going to be, but it is going through the courts right now.
I think it just allows the government to target specific entities. Correct. Yeah. All right.
Next. TikTok says ban would cost U.S. small businesses, creators $1.3 billion in the first month.
So wait a minute. So what's going on? Are they banning it or are they selling it?
They are talking about banning it, just like they did in Trump's previous term.
Sure. Yes.
So they're talking about banning TikTok because of Chinese influence. Now, I looked a little bit further into this, and there's actually more Chinese influence on some other social media platforms than there is on TikTok.
Like what?
Like Threads and Facebook.
Okay.
Because a lot of that propaganda doesn't get shut down there, but the Chinese, they don't want to lose TikTok, so they're actually cutting down on a lot more propaganda on TikTok than some of the other social media platforms are on theirs.
Interesting.
Right?
Interesting.
So TikTok is fighting this. They might sell it, but this is something that has come up again with Trump entering his second term, that they might ban TikTok, and just says that TikTok is being used by a lot of small businesses to sell things. They've got a TikTok shop, and there would be a lot of revenue loss. I know that I'm sure there would be another app that just takes its place.
No doubt.
But that's what it would look like. A lot of people, their livelihoods would be on the line if this does go.
Yeah, and that's what's kind of crazy about that. I don't like China being in control of anything, but like you said, there's more in control of several other entities that we don't even know about.
Correct.
And also, so what's stopping some sort of Chinese or CCP tied company from buying TikTok and then just relinquishing? You know what I'm saying? Or them working together with China. I'm sure that's probably.
I'm sure I'm sure that could happen, but this is going to get such a large amount of scrutiny that even if there was a Chinese linked company that wanted to buy it, I don't know if that would then go through Congress.
Wow. I
think that it would have to be sold to an American company, and there were a couple of, I believe Oracle was one of the ones that was interested in potentially purchasing TikTok or the U.S. version of TikTok.
Interesting.
Yes. And speaking of TikTok, in China, TikTok, a lot of the videos are addicting.
Yes.
Yes.
I personally.
Yes.
I can't get with TikTok.
I can't.
I deleted it. I downloaded it again. I deleted it again. Then I re-downloaded it. Now I'm on my re-download phase, and I am trying to get with them, and I just can't. TikTok is not for boomers, it feels like.
It scared me. I downloaded it once. It was a Sunday afternoon. I got back from church. I lay on the couch. I was like, you know what? I'm in a laughing mood. Let's see what TikTok has to offer. So I download TikTok. Within 5 minutes, that thing has me figured out, knows exactly what I like to laugh at. Bethany went upstairs for a nap, a long nap, came back downstairs. After 4 hours, I was still scrolling.
Oh.
She said, have you been on that the entire time? I was like, oh my goodness, I completely forgot about time. It scared me. I deleted it, and I haven't downloaded it since. It's like, I'm not doing this.
What?
Yes.
That is hypnotic.
Yes.
Wow.
So
there is something to it.
There is something to it, but in China, they moderate that.
Interesting.
They don't show certain things to children if you're a child. TikTok is way more moderated in China than it is here in the U.S., which is one of the reasons why they bring this up.
Uh-huh.
It could be But Instagram does the same. I mean, their algorithm isn't as good. I haven't found it as good as TikTok.
Sure.
But still.
Good Lord. That's wild.
Yes.
Scooby! What's TT? Oh, TikTok.
TikTok.
Downloaded and deleted. Yeah. You know, in light of all of these different things that are happening in our country, you know, the CEO gets assassinated he gets killed. And then Trump gets not one, but two assassination attempts. Mm-hmm. You know, you have to start thinking about brainwashing and how real it is with propaganda and all that kind of stuff. So TikTok is a breeding ground for propaganda. It's a breeding ground for brainwashing. And it's kind of scary to even put it that way, but there's a reason why they want it banned.
Yes. They show you what you want to see.
Scary.
And it feeds, you know, whatever whether you're on the left or the right, it feeds into that.
Sure. That's why you got to get like even keel. X is a perfect example.
Yes.
You have, you know, you've got left, right, and center just pouring in information. You make a scientific judgment based off of the information that you get.
Yes.
You cannot make a scientific judgment based off of just one side of the story.
No.
And that's when it starts getting a little bit tricky.
Exactly.
With TikTok. Do they have a stock?
TikTok?
Yeah.
They do in China, not in the US. Yes.
Interesting. All right. Next.
This is interesting. Trading assistant app, Chart AI. So there's a couple of these on the App Store. What this is it's an AI chart. So a lot of people have, you know, asked me, how do I get into charting? And I usually say, buy the book Charting for Dummies. That's where I started. But this is actually very interesting because now you don't have to study it anymore, like with a lot of things. All you do is upload a chart or a picture of a chart to this app. There's another one that I've taken a look at, and it gives you a breakdown of what that chart means. So this chart looks like there's about to be a breakout. It gives you, you know, all the language, and it shows you whether or not you should invest at that very moment. I mean, it doesn't give you a full recommendation. It just tells you you might want to, but yeah, it's extremely interesting what it can do there with AI and with the algorithm, showing you how to chart. So this could be a good way to do it practically without you having to read the book and take notes and analyze.
There you go.
You can just upload a picture and then read through it, and you can learn charting like that.
That's fantastic.
It is.
AI taking over. Next.
U.S. small business optimism soars to 3-year high after Trump win. U.S. small business optimism surged in November to more than a 3-year high in anticipation of more favorable economic policies after Donald Trump. I think the other article that I sent in says the highest in 44 years.
Wow.
So there's extreme optimism.
That's awesome.
The National Federation of Independent Business Optimism Index jumped 8 points to the most on record to 101.7, the highest reading since June 2021. The group's uncertainty gauge dropped 12 points after reaching a record high prior to the presidential election. The election results signal a major shift in economic policy, leading to a surge in optimism among small business owners. So that's good. That's good for the economy. And that shows that people will be willing to make investments again.
Amen.
Continue. We can go to the next one. Why Paul Atkins, Trump's SEC chair pick, gives crypto a reason to hope again. So this is one of the reasons this is from December 5th when Trump picked Paul Atkins to be the new SEC chair. Bye-bye, Gary Gensler. With Paul Atkins expected to take over as the chair of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, is the regulatory lifeline crypto has been waiting for, or just another chapter of empty promises? President-elect Donald Trump has nominated Atkins to lead the SEC. The announcement sparked optimism across financial circles, particularly within the crypto community. He is favorable towards cryptocurrency, which is one of the reasons why it has been so high. For those of you that are invested in cryptocurrency, I'm sure that you're very happy recently.
I'd say.
Accounts looking full. A renowned regulator with extensive experience, Atkins has been selected to bring a fresh perspective to the SEC at a time when innovation and regulation are locked in a critical tug of war.
Are you in Doge?
What's that?
Are you in Doge?
No, I sold my Doge.
You're not going to buy in again?
No, not right now.
No.
No. I made 130% on it, and I didn't want to get greedy.
Wow.
So I did pretty well when it came to Doge, yeah. But there's some others that I've been trading, mainly just the main ones, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, but I haven't touched Doge. I bought Doge a long time ago, and I just had it sitting in my Robinhood account and sold it. It was almost right after the presidential election that I sold it.
Wow, smart.
Yeah.
But it's probably going to keep going up.
It is, yes. Most likely.
This is the way crypto moves in general.
Yeah.
You're just one tweet away from something happening where XRP goes straight up or Bitcoin goes through the roof.
It's very interesting. If you haven't, we've been through a couple of crypto cycles now, and you've seen the ups and downs.
Oh, yes.
It's insane how quick it moves and how many percentage points. It's not something that you see in the regular market. And so I always love seeing the news articles when crypto crashes 5 to 10%. It's just normal in cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
But you see all the headline, crypto crashes, end of crypto, sell.
Yeah.
I love seeing that because most of them are still in that mindset of the stock market. If the stock market went down 5% in one day, that would be major.
Yeah. Listen, did Doge and the Department of Government Efficiency, was that a complete coincidence?
Elon Musk pushed Doge. So Doge wasn't really, it wasn't as popular until Elon Musk started pushing it. He posted the meme of the dog for Doge. He pushed Shiba Inu and Doge and said that they were going to start accepting Doge to pay for your Teslas and things like that. That's when Doge really came on the map. And I think that was just a play on things by, how he is. He loves that sort of stuff.
But it's just incredible.
It is.
Because if the way the crypto market moves, you're really just one tweet away from just absolute, straight to the moon. So if you're talking about the Department of Government Efficiency constantly being on the news, which they have, and they haven't even taken their seats yet. They haven't even started.
Yeah.
You're going to constantly be hearing Doge, not necessarily in the same, talking about the same thing, but that has to be beneficial.
Yes.
The fact that it's always in the forefront of your mind is going to help that cryptocurrency quite a bit.
People hear that. And when he posts Doge, he actually posts the picture of the dog too, a lot of times. Elon Musk does. And so that's the mascot of the Doge coin.
Without a doubt.
And so, yeah, it's very interesting what he does. But he sort of just, it's fascinating to me how he lives.
I know.
Because he basically just doesn't live by the rules. He makes up, whatever is funny to him.
Yeah.
And then he implements that on the world. He imposes
exactly
that on the world.
He actually, when I went to see him in downtown, somebody had asked him about Doge.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, to be honest with you, I just like the Doge dog.
Yeah.
And I was like, I believe you.
Yes.
I believe that this is literally the only reason why you're into Doge is because of the dog.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Good Lord. What a guy. Where were we?
Alex had a question. Didn't some litigation in Texas cause the FinCEN requirement to be thrown out? It's still pending. So at this point, it hasn't been thrown out yet. It's been halted. It's been paused. But it hasn't been thrown out yet. Call your congressman and everybody and let them know that you don't want that. All right, we can go to the next one.
Is that crypto? Billy Jack says, is that crypto backed by gold? I don't think any crypto is backed by gold.
There are a couple, but you can't prove it. So they're in this meme coin arena.
Yes.
Where somebody says, oh, this is a cryptocurrency that's backed by gold. Okay, and then let's see you're audited. Let's see, the physical gold. Because is it really that's my qualm with those cryptocurrencies.
What company was it that we were looking for their headquarters in, what was it, San Francisco or San Diego?
Tether. Yes.
And it was like a nail shop.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And then their
like
headquarters in Hong Kong as well. Yes.
Yeah. And so when we looked into that, there was just like a warehouse of nothing.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's not it's not. Yeah, no wonder nobody believes that it's backed by gold.
Yeah, they can post whatever they want, whatever report they want. If it's not confirmed by an independent auditor, then I wouldn't invest in something that says that they're backed by
Talk to a girl making $54 million.
Yes.
Legal? Not legal.
I don't know if she made $54 million. The people around her did. I think she made a little over $1 million is what I read.
But is she going to be on the chopping block?
Well, there's not a lot of regulation around it. So there are these rug pulls, what they call it, that happen all the time. It's just something that you have to understand with cryptocurrency. That might happen, but yeah, it's.
I guess it's not really that different than what was it? The moon, the lunar.
Yeah, Safe Moon.
Safe Moon.
Yeah, it would be the same. Like
That
I
was
could go
pushed
out
by
and create a cryptocurrency
Barstool. Yeah.
right now and say, oh, this is the Pat coin, and then tell everybody on here, audience, buy, and then as soon as everybody buys, I sell, and I own 97% of it, and everybody else loses money.
And so that's
absolutely shady.
Yes.
And it will ruin your reputation.
Right.
But in the crypto space, it's not technically illegal yet.
Interesting.
Yes.
All right. Sorry, I'm not going to interrupt you again.
No, you're good. These are good. These are good things. Justin, former Trump campaign manager, says to those celebrating 100K Bitcoin, you're going to be celebrating much higher. Let's see it.
Hey.
The strongest advocate you could possibly have at this point in time, and he's only going to be stronger because when he goes back to the White House in January, one of the first things he's going to be doing is to clean out the SEC and put together people in an administration that will look at Bitcoin as part of, as he said, the strategic reserve of the United States. So I think there's a lot of exciting times ahead. To those of you who are celebrating $100,000 Bitcoin, you're going to be celebrating much higher very soon, I think.
Isn't that interesting?
It is interesting.
So the plan is to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve. So Bitcoin is a store of value, just like gold is what, depending on what you believe, that's what they say, because there's a finite amount. There's only 21 million of them.
Right.
And so what one of Trump's plans is to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve for the United States of America so that the U.S. basically holds the most Bitcoin and then controls the market.
Come on.
So if that happens and the U.S. starts buying mass amounts of Bitcoin, it's going to push up the price.
Famina, do you have my Eric Trump on Bitcoin? The video is one of the last things that I sent you. All right, continue.
So yeah, that's what, I've seen some analysts say at that point it might go up to $1 million per Bitcoin. There's some people that say 10 million, but then again, that could...
Play it. There it is. Justin, go back.
I can tell you...
President Donald Trump's son, Eric Trump, says, I'm confident Bitcoin is going to hit $1 million. This was, 6:37 this morning. Go ahead, play.
I can tell you a lot of eyes were opened when Bitcoin hit 100,000. And I can tell you a hell of a lot more eyes are going to be opened when Bitcoin hits 1 million. And I'm confident it's going to hit 1 million. I think we're all confident in this room that it's going to hit $1 million.
What do you think?
Yeah.
You have Bitcoin?
I have Bitcoin.
Dang, let's go. We're going to be millionaires here shortly. What does that do, posts like that? Like, what is Bitcoin doing in the market right now?
Bitcoin right now, let's take a look. So Bitcoin is down slightly. It's at 96,000. It's down over the past 24 hours about half a percentage point. Ethereum's down 5%. So that's what I'm talking about. These major swings, XRP is down over 10%.
Dang. Uh-huh.
So it's just over $2, but Bitcoin moves a little bit slower than a lot of them, but Bitcoin is also the most mainstream at this point. But those are just some swings that you have to get used to in cryptocurrency. So if you do buy in, don't
panic.
Don't panic. Don't have zero emotion about it.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way you're going to get through it. And have some rules set. Here, this is the point where I'm going to sell. This is the point where I'm going to buy. This is the point where I'm going to sell. And then don't panic in between. I wouldn't even look at it in between.
Right. You
Because
time in hands.
Fly me to the moon.
What's the future of XRP? Casey wants to know.
The future of, if XRP is implemented as the replacement of the SWIFT system, SWIFT is what everybody uses. We use SWIFT here at the ministry to make wire transfers. And so SWIFT is used by companies all over the world every single day. There's trillions of dollars that is moved every single day over SWIFT. And SWIFT is still slow, especially when it comes to international. Sometimes there's, they have to look into things. They have to, so it
Due
can
diligence.
be, yes, it could
yeah.
take 3 days for a wire transfer to get to somebody. With XRP, if they use the XRP infrastructure or used XRP or Ripple to replace SWIFT, then that would be instant. So if you were in the Netherlands or in the United Kingdom and we were trading, I could send money to you. It would be instantly in your account and within a couple of seconds.
Dude,
And so that's what one of the things that they've talked about XRP potentially doing. XRP is working with multiple countries to create a central bank digital currency built on the XRP ledger. And so those are some things that, of course, CBDCs haven't been implemented. I don't think any country has really implemented that. China has a little bit, but China doesn't use the XRP ledger. That is...
What do they use, I wonder?
They use their own. It's like a
Whatever.
CCP. Yeah. And so that XRP could really rise with that if SWIFT uses it. There was
So you think it's going to be acquired by SWIFT, or they're just going to work in tandem?
They're going to work in tandem.
And SWIFT would be stupid not to.
Yes.
Because this is just the future.
Yes.
You're either going to go with it or you're going to be out.
Yeah, SWIFT is antiquated.
Correct.
So it's not... Yeah, it needs to be replaced at some point with something faster, or people are going to use something that is created in one of the BRICS countries, and then BRICS is going to control global finance. I don't think the Western nations are going to let that happen, and so they have to do something at some point to continue to dominate global finance so that we continue trading in US dollars, and the majority of world trade is done in US dollars still.
Hold on to that XRP.
Yes.
Moral of the story.
I would say so.
Hold on. Go ahead.
All right, next. Trump victory sends small business optimism soaring most in 44 years. So there's the chart.
Wonderful.
Let's see the chart again. So there's the first Trump optimism spike. So you can see Biden. Is that optimism? And then with Trump, you see a spike again in optimism there. Wow, that's interesting. All right, we can go to the next one.
Dang, look how far it dropped with under Biden. Good Lord.
It appears American small business owners love Hitler and hate democracy.
Make it make sense, Patrick.
U.S. small business optimism surged in November to a more than 3-year high in anticipation of more favorable economic policies after Donald Trump sealed his return to the White House. We already went over this. Next. The SEC filed 583 total enforcement actions in fiscal year 24 while obtaining orders for $8.2 billion in financial remedies, the highest amount in SEC history. So here you see the SEC was created to protect investors basically from Ponzi schemes. That is what the SEC was created for. And here you have the SEC. What they do is they go out, they sue public companies, they look through their financials.
Making them look bad.
They find something that's off. Oh, look at this. This decimal is here. It's supposed to be here. We're going to fine you $1 million for that. So that's basically what they did under Gary Gensler. So hopefully now that's going to change a little bit. Instead of it being used as part of the police state, it'll go back to doing what it was actually created to do. But this is just, I mean, this is insane. $8.2 billion. So that's $8.2 billion that was taken from companies.
Unreal.
into the coffers of the SEC so they can hire more people so they can do more of these.
Disgusting. That's awful. That's truly awful.
And with, I'm sure there were some, I'm not saying that all of these were not, legitimate, but with a lot of these, they weren't legitimate. It was a targeting of different companies, and then they dug far enough and they found something, and that's then what they enforced.
Unreal.
It had nothing to do with protecting investors because no investors were harmed.
Yeah, sure.
Continue. This is my favorite tweet.
Wow.
This is from November 21st, Gary Gensler. On January 20th. On January 20th, 2025, I will be stepping down as SEC chair.
Wow.
The SEC has a...
It's a new day. It's a new life.
Good riddance.
The SEC is a remarkable agency. The staff and commission are deeply mission-driven, focused on protecting investors, facilitating capital formation, and ensuring that the markets work for investors and issuers alike. That's not true. The staff comprises of true public servants. I'm sure they are true public servants. I'm not, saying that the staff at the SEC is not. But you are not focused on protecting investors or making markets work for investors. Here's how I see it. I don't need parental guidance when it comes to investing. And so I just want the SEC to stay out of it.
Sure.
I understand if I invest something that ends up being a Ponzi scheme, that's my fault.
Without a doubt.
I should have done more research.
Undoubtedly.
I wouldn't invest in some of these meme coins like the Hawk Tua, and just the name itself.
Yes, absolutely.
Hawk Tua coin. Who would buy that?
Use your head. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So there's, you know what I mean? So I don't need parental guidance from the SEC. But yeah, it's been an honor of a lifetime to serve. But happy retirement from Check the Market, Gary Gensler. Next. Here's a meme that I found this morning. When you know you're the subject of a nationwide manhunt, but the McRib is only available for a limited time, you end up letting your guard down. Next.
I have so many of those for today's show, it's not even funny.
Justin, the politicians are buying war stocks again.
No.
This is from this morning. Yesterday.
They know something's coming.
The politicians are buying war stocks. Representative Jared Moskowitz just filed a new 15,000 buy of Lockheed Martin. They're one of the largest defense contractors in the world. Coincidentally, Moskowitz also sits on the House Foreign Affairs Committee and National Security Subcommittee. If you haven't downloaded an app, there's an app you can download. It's called Autopilot. That app, Pastor Jonathan's talked about that app before, but that app you can connect to your brokerage account, Robinhood, Charles Schwab, Fidelity, among others, and it'll auto trade for you. So you can connect it. It'll show you Nancy Pelosi's stock portfolio. Different hedge funds are on there. There's even a ChatGPT one. So you can download that on the App Store. It's called Autopilot, and if you don't want to do trading yourself, what it does is automatically trade. So if one of those hedge funds buys new stocks, it'll add those in, and you can start with however much you want. You can allocate to it 500, 1,000, whatever you feel like allocating towards it. They have had some stellar returns over the past couple of months in that app. So if you want to take a look at that if you don't want to actively trade. Next. When the truth hurts, it must be hidden. Unbelievable, but here it is in your face out in the open. So this is from the United Kingdom. The Bank of England will hide the identities of any pension funds, insurers, or hedge funds bailed out under a new financial stability tool to prevent a wider crisis engulfing the economy.
Come on.
Isn't that insane?
Come on.
Deputy Governor Dave Ramsden said the Bank of England has accepted submissions by so-called shadow banks that revealing too much information could create stigma.
What?
I'm sorry you guys messed up.
God forbid, stigma, aka transparency?
Exactly. Own it. This is absolutely insane.
It is.
About using bailout tool, which would undermine any rescue effort and risk creating more financial instability, he said in a speech on Monday. So basically, a carte blanche for all banks in the United Kingdom. Do whatever you want. If you get in trouble,
without a doubt,
we're going to bail you out.
If you're on our side.
And
if you're on our side.
Yes. We're going to bail you out, and we're not even going to expose you.
We're going to choose certain ones that we want to bail out and stay hidden. That's insane.
This is absolutely insane, yes.
Dude, what the heck?
I thought that was an interesting tweet. This is from Bloomberg, by the way.
Good Lord. Yuck. When the truth hurts, it must be hidden. Unbelievable, really. Good God. No thanks. Hard pass. Even though that happens in the United States. Next. What's this?
The last thing you see before your portfolio goes to zero.
Oh my gosh. Who's this?
That's Michael Saylor. He's like a Bitcoin maximalist. He actually owns a ton of Bitcoin. So it's him and Dave Portnoy.
Good Lord.
I just thought it was funny. This doesn't mean your portfolio is going to zero. It's just funny. When everybody starts talking about it, that's when you need to start being a little more careful. But as we saw in 2021, people started talking about it in January, and the party didn't end until the end of the year. So they might be talking about it for a year before the party's over.
No doubt.
Next. I am being willow-pilled. Google, this is from Geiger Capital. Google just casually threw into their release that it proves we're likely living in a multiverse.
What?
This is Willow's performance on this benchmark. Willow is a supercomputer, quantum computer of Google's. It performed a computation under 5 minutes that would take one of today's fastest supercomputers 10 septillion years. If you want to write that out, that's how many zeros it is. This mind-boggling number exceeds known timescales in physics and vastly exceeds the age of the universe. It lends credence to the notion that quantum computation occurs in many parallel universes. This is from Google, in line with the idea that we live in a multiverse, a prediction first made by David Deutsch. Also by the Avengers. You guys might want to
oh my gosh.
Lay off the videos.
Thor? Is that you? Yeah.
Lay off the movies.
What?
This is an official release from Google. We might be living in a multiverse.
This is wild.
It is.
This is wild.
It is.
I was just told about, what is it, Sank? Have you ever heard of it? Mm-mm. Sank? No. Is it Sank? I don't know if I said it right. I'll have to get back to you on that, but it's interesting. Anyways, this kind of ties into it.
I believe that's all I had for today.
Awesome. Well, Patrick, thank you so much. Any questions over here? I have, I thought I saw a question, but I didn't. All right, let's get the Kramer inverse on autopilot crack up. It's up 89. Okay. Moving on to today's news, we're going to keep this very brief, so therefore we're going to go ahead and skip over this 5-minute video. Next, we're going to get right into it with this assassin. His name is Luigi. I didn't know. So we're going to have to call him. That's how we're going to say it in Check the News. Ryan Ruth, the lone gunman Trump assassin, we're told was basically homeless, apparently had 18 cell phones and 5 different phone companies relevant to his case, plus 3 computers, 3 tablets, and 5 external storage drives, totaling over 4,000 terabytes worth of digital footprints. But why do we not know anything more about him? Next. I just thought that it was also interesting that these people are using, Ryan Ruth included, using a lot of burner phones. Mm-hmm. Who are they on the phone with? Next. All right, here we go. PA Governor Shapiro, of course, I believe the assassin was found in Pennsylvania. Altoona?
Yes, Altoona, yeah.
All right, play.
This killer is being hailed as a hero. Hear me on this. He is no hero. The real hero in this story is the person who called 911 at McDonald's this morning. The real heroes every day in our society are the women and men who put on uniforms like these and go out in our communities to keep us safe. This killer was not a hero. He should not be hailed. Mr. Thompson, I understand, was laid to rest earlier today in Minnesota in a private setting. As the conversation continues about this case, let's be mindful not to dehumanize him and make him just an avatar of a system that is disliked by many.
Unfortunately, he had to say that. There's so many people that are in favor of this guy being dead.
I haven't seen him hailed as a hero.
Oh, it's all over the place. Anybody who's left, like CNN posted the story and everybody was, just went off. All of their viewers just went off on their support of why he's dead, why he should be dead, and why there's more trouble down the pipeline with health CEOs.
Yeah, he has a family. What are you doing?
Well, he does have 2 sons, a wife that ended up, she actually released one of the very first statements that we ever read once he was shot and killed. She had mentioned to a journalist that he was receiving threats that the prior week before the assassin, he was receiving threats for his life. So I thought that was very interesting that as a woman, as a wife, that's the first thing that you say, well, he was getting threatened earlier in the week. It was just very bizarre to me. So we did a little bit of a deep dive and realized that they've been separated now for several years, living in 2 different homes on the same street, apparently for the children's sake. But not much love there, if you know what I'm saying. Next. This is Luigi Mangione. This is curious. So here he is, ladies and gentlemen. They got him. Play.
Like there, I mean, you can imagine obviously the cameras and the lights and all of the press and everything there as you saw him. What was his demeanor like, and what is the very latest that you know here coming out of this important press conference?
Sure thing, Aaron. Well, yeah, I'll say just about an hour ago, I was there inside that courthouse watching as Luigi Mangione walked right past myself and a number of other reporters. He was wearing a blue shirt, blue jeans. He was, of course, handcuffed. And he looked, even in this court appearance, visibly distressed, but he kept his brow furrowed through the duration of this
He can't help it. It's
hearing.
one brow.
And I should say what was interesting, though, Aaron, as you said, we haven't heard a statement from the suspect. He did actually speak inside of that courtroom to the judge and to all the folks who were in there. But it was on very selective issues, and I'll just kind of go through what we heard. The judge asked Luigi Mangione a number of questions, first about his identity. So Mr. Mangione confirmed that that is his real name. He initially said that his residence was in Maryland, but then the judge actually pressed him on that, and then he said, actually, I have lived at various addresses before then ultimately giving an address in Honolulu, Hawaii. Then he also said that he's worked for 3 years as a data engineer up until about a year ago, and he also told the judge that he has no drug or mental health problems that the court needs to know about. But Aaron, one of the most interesting parts of that particular hearing was actually his statements after the conversation about bail. The prosecutors basically stepped up there and made the case why they believe that this man should be held without bail. They mentioned that he is awaiting potentially an arrest warrant coming from New York City as one of the major reasons. But they also said that prosecutors noted that they found him with $8,000 in U.S. cash, $2,000 in foreign currency, his passport, and also a Faraday bag, which is basically a bag designed to stop transmission of cell service or other sort of things like that. At the end of his speech, the prosecutor's speech, Luigi Mangione said, I actually want to address 2 of the things that you said. He said, I don't know where that money came from. I'm not sure if it was planted. And then he also said that that bag was waterproof. And the term that the prosecutors used when discussing the Faraday bag, the ghost guns, the 3D printed silencer, was the prosecutors used a phrase saying this is criminal sophistication. Luigi Mangione said, I don't know about any of this criminal sophistication when addressing that. But it's just interesting, Aaron, that of all of the things that were mentioned in that court appearance, the 2 that he noted or took issue with was the currency and then that bag. Aaron?
Quite fascinating.
That's interesting.
It is interesting. What does it sound like to you? CIA plant? Brainwashing of some sort?
Something.
You're kind of here with it. You're with us, but then you're not with us.
Yeah.
Did you see some of the subtitles? It was like he was found in McDonald's visibly shaking.
Yeah.
More on that in a little bit. Next. All right, here we go. The shells at the scene, delay, deny, depose. So there you have it. A little Mario joke to lighten things up. Next. Justin, the family of Luigi Mangione. I'm going to add a lot more syllables to that. Mangione. Unfortunately, we cannot comment on news reports regarding Luigi Mangione. We only know what we have read in the media. So he was estranged from his family, apparently. Our family is shocked and devastated by Luigi's arrest. We offer our prayers to the family of Brian Thompson, and we ask people to pray for all involved. We are devastated by this news, the Mangione family. So here's the thing. We're starting to piece this kind of stuff together, and it's just seeming like Nancy Pelosi is behind all of it. Next. Here he is. He pissed his pants. Next. All right. Seems like somebody who has a severe mental disorder. At least in the least, the fact that this guy is Ivy League, valedictorian. There's so much. He was a smart kid. Something must have happened, whether it was he was brainwashed by MSNBC or TikTok. We don't know yet. But something definitely happened to make this kid snap. Taylor Lorenz says she felt joy after shooting of the United Healthcare CEO because she believes in the sanctity of life. An argument ensues between her and Piers Morgan. Take a look at this psychopath. And again, you can always tell a psycho by the way their eyes are, the fact that you can see the entire iris in people. That's basically, it's a tell-all.
Does she believe in the sanctity of life? Because I guarantee you, I can find 100 tweets from her that show
That's the reason why I'm telling you she's a complete psycho. And, I want to finish that with another word. You know what I'm saying? I do.
If I were the man I was 5 years ago, I'd take a flamethrower to this place.
All right, play.
I do believe in the sanctity of life. And I think that's why I felt, along with so many other Americans, joy, unfortunately, because it feels like...
Serious?
I mean...
Joy in a man's execution?
Maybe not joy, but certainly not empathy. Because again,
we're watching the footage. How can this make you joyful? This guy's a husband.
There's a name for you ladies, but it isn't used in high society, outside of a kennel.
Continue.
He's a father, and he's being gunned down in the middle of Manhattan. Why does that make you joyful?
Of Americans that he murdered. So are the tens of thousands of Americans, innocent Americans, who died because greedy health insurance executives like this one push a policy of denying care to the most vulnerable people. And the many millions of Americans that have watched people that I care about suffer and in some cases die because of lack of health care.
So should they all be killed then? Should they all be killed, these healthcare executives? Would that make you even more joyful?
No, that would not.
But why not?
So why not?
Why are you laughing?
I think because...
Psycho.
Because it wouldn't fit the
You seem to find the whole thing hilarious.
I find your question funny.
A bloke's been murdered in the street. I don't find it funny at all.
I don't find it funny that tens of thousands of Americans die every year and because they are denied life-saving health care from people like the CEO. Now, I want to fix this system. You're right. We shouldn't be going around shooting each other with vigilante justice. No. I think that it is a good thing that this murder has led to America, or really the media elites and politicians in this country paying attention to this issue for the first time. You mentioned you couldn't understand why somebody would feel this reaction when they watched a CEO die. It's because you have not dealt, it sounds like, with the American healthcare system in the way that millions of other Americans have.
I've dealt with the healthcare system.
I don't find joy in that. That's sick.
I don't think it's perfect by any means, but the idea that I would view it as something...
Have you been denied life-saving treatment?
The idea that I would view it as something joyful that a man who's just a healthcare executive has been executed in the street, I find completely bizarre.
What? Seriously?
That's crazy. But then she says, I want to fix the system. I guarantee you she has something to say about RFK Jr.
Without a doubt. Oh, without a doubt. You better absolutely...
Because she does want to fix the system, because then she's not going to get any advertising dollars from the pharmaceutical companies for her YouTube show. Let's be honest.
Yeah, let's be honest. Okay. What's this one?
Our country's being run by a bunch of pussy.
I didn't know that was actually the word. That's one of the worst ones. But anyway, Kind of fits. Next. Here we go. Yes. All right. Luigi Mangione was asked for a form of identification. He then provided a fake ID card out of New Jersey. After a brief investigation, it was determined that the ID provided was, in fact, a fake ID and was subsequently arrested. Continue. We're not watching it. Next. All right. Here it is. This is exactly how it went down. Take my word for it. Next. Spoke with the source that had a lot of friends. That is what it says. That had a lot of friends that went to high school with Luigi Mangione. What keeps coming up is back surgery that changed everything for him. And he went absolutely crazy. Maybe could it have anything to do with the drugs that were given to him?
Wow.
True or not true? Can you enlarge it? Check out his Goodreads. Crooked outwitting the back pain industry and getting on the road to recovery. Back Mechanic by Dr. Stuart McGill. So you could tell that this kid was in a lot of pain, and oof, that's rough. Continue. New Luigi Mangione suggests that $8,000 in cash and $2,000 in foreign currency, and of course they leave out what foreign currency it is, because that would be very thrilling to know.
That would be.
So found him on him during his arrest was planted, according to CNN. Despite everything said in the courtroom, the only thing Mangione had an issue with was the cash and the waterproof bag allegedly found on him. One of the most interesting parts of that particular hearing was actually his statement after the conversation about bail. All right, we already know about it. Next. Believe absolutely nothing you see about Luigi Mangione, Matt Wallace, and I'm going to have to agree with the sentiment here. In light of all of these assassination attempts on Donald J. Trump, things that is going to potentially be released, do you think that Robert Kennedy Jr. or Robert Kennedy files are going to come out about like CIA and their involvement into it?
With the JFK?
JFK, yes. You think that's going to come out?
I think he's going to do it now.
Yeah? So in light of that, you understand that there's a lot of stuff at play. There's a lot of secrets in the higher-ups. And so the fact that this is conveniently, he was going to be, deposed or whatever for a Pelosi hearing for insider trading.
Was he?
Yes.
The
CEO.
Healthcare CEO. I did not know that.
So it's interesting. Next.
That is interesting.
Pictured, Luigi Mangione, person of interest, assassination for United Healthcare CEO. So here he is. Look at that. Little did he know. Okay. Health nut, I would say. All right. Look at those pecs. Can we zoom in? I'm just kidding. Next. Alleged United Healthcare CEO assassin Luigi Mangione delivered his valedictorian graduation speech back in 2016. Okay, let's take a listen. We're not going to listen to the whole thing, but let's just take a listen.
Headmaster Smythe, Mr. Hubeck, members of the Board of Trustees, family, friends, faculty, and fellow students, good afternoon. Thank you all for being here to celebrate Gilman's 116th Founders Day. I'm honored to be speaking to you all today on behalf of the Gilman class of 2016.
Fast forward it.
When I started writing the speech, it was reminding me of our class's commitment to Gilman and its traditions.
Next.
I came to realize that both...
He seems like a nice kid. What went wrong?
Back surgery, apparently.
Drugs. Exclusive. Luigi Mangione, suspect of United Healthcare CEO shooter, is Facebook friends with Moses Hetfield. Hetfield is one of the Mangione's few Facebook friends, and the two grew up in close proximity from each other in Maryland. Moses Hetfield is the son of Mark Hatfield, the president of the Jewish NGO HIAS, which facilitates illegal immigration into the United States with funding from the DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, was on the board of HIAS before he was appointed as DHS Secretary by Joe Biden. Moses's mother, Miriam Hetfield, who works at DHS with Alejandro Mayorkas. She works in citizenship and immigration service. What are the odds that the alleged shooter has 1 degree of separation away from the DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas? Interesting. Food for thought. Next. New quote from Mangione: "These parasites had it coming." Apparently, he said he acted alone and was self-funded, but I think you and I know a little bit differently. If you're having a burner phone, it's because somebody else is involved, okay?
Yeah, and
you toss your
currency.
burner phone in Central Park, you leave your DNA scattered everywhere in the city, you have no idea what you're doing. It just seems more and more like this is like a mechanical, like he was like hypnotized or whatever. I do apologize for any strife and trauma, but it had to be done. Next. Here it is. BLM is back after 4-year hiatus because this is in the response to Daniel Penny's, hearing. He was set free. Praise God. New York, lives another day. Next. Who cares about BLM there? Trump calls Trudeau government. Here it is. Trump trolls Trudeau, and this is early this morning. This is going to be the last bit of information, or rather the last piece for Check the News, because we got to get ready for Pastor Jonathan. He's going to be live from Hobbs, New Mexico. So you don't want to miss it. Right after the Check the News broadcast, you want to make sure that you tune in. He's been spitting fire this entire week. So here he goes. December 8th through the 13th, he's going to be in Hobbs, New Mexico, nightly at 7 p.m. And then he's going to be doing these 10 a.m. services, which is going to be noon hour time. But Trump trolling Trudeau, you got to love to see it. It was a pleasure to have dinner the other night with Governor Justin Trudeau of the great state of Canada. I look forward to seeing the governor again soon. Can you imagine? So that we may continue our in-depth talks on tariffs and trade, the result of which will truly be spectacular for all. DJT. Let me tell you, nobody does it better than you, sir. Nobody. So on that note, hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for being on the show, brother Patrick. Here are the ways that you can give. And of course, we have a New Dawn t-shirt for you because we're headed into a new dawn. Why? Trump is taking over. The darkness is being exposed in every area. How about Jay-Z? Didn't cover a lickety split about Jay-Z. We have a bunch of stuff that we have to cover about that. And just this incoming Trump administration, Harmeet Dillon, friend of the show, friend of the ministry, she was just appointed as assistant attorney general or whatever. So she's going to kill it. She's going to absolutely kill it. I was thrilled. Earlier this year, her husband passed away of dementia or something like that. And so it was a really sad, many weeks after that, then her father passed away. So it was really dark in these last couple of months. And so she tweeted, can you pull up the tweet of her by the fireplace? Did I isolate that one? And so she said that she would never turn on the fireplace again after her husband passed away. And she turned it on just basically because it was such good news. Yeah. It was such a good day. So congratulations, Harmeet Dillon. New dawn, new day. Here are the ways for you to give. And of course, you can get that t-shirt for a partnership of any size. We've got Zelle, Venmo, PayPal. Is #donate on being ousted or what? Is that still kind of
I'm still looking. I haven't found anything in the terms of services that shows that that it's going the way of Cash App, because they use Stripe on the back end, and I haven't found anything with them as well. Stripe is a global payment system. So I'm still looking into it. I'm sure there might be something that's hidden, so I'm trying to see if there's any other documentation that I can find on.
I only remember when we set that up that they were really great to work with.
They were initially, yeah. They would reach out all the time, but
not anymore.
Not anymore.
They don't need to.
No.
Yeah. All right, you can text RT to 50155, and of course, we've got cryptocurrency. Just go to revivaltoday.com/give for all of the information. You can mail in a check to Revival Today, P.O. Box 7, Prosperity, PA 15329. If you have any questions, we'd love to talk to you. 412-446-2332. And don't forget this very vital step. Claim your offer. RevivalToday.com/offer. You guys have been a delight, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
See ya.
What's it like seeing so many Republicans in Manhattan, so many Trump supporters in Manhattan? Does that surprise you?
No, not at all. It's turning now. Trump's turn again.
What's your message to Joe Biden?
F you.
Rallies Up magazine, let me begin. I came to win, battle me, guard your chin. I won't ever slack up, commies better back up. Try to cheat again and you'll the whole country act up. Get up, stand up, come on, throw your hands up. If you got the feeling, jump up towards the ceiling. MAGA, let the love float, Democrats corrupt. Yo, we know it's do or die, we taking it all back. So, feeling, funkin', amp central force when we got more fun. Bust it out, retribution, Dealey's team. The memes can get memed, it lives coast to coast with on my own machine. I came to get down, I came to get down. So get out your seat and jump around, jump around, jump around, jump around. Trump up, White House bound. Trump, 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 everybody jump. Trump, 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 everybody jump. Trump, 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 Trump. I'll serve just like tiny meatball. If you step out of line, you're taking a fall. Word to your moms, ballparks and farms. I got more rallies than Bible got psalms. And just like the prodigal son, I've returned. Anyone stepping in me, you'll get burned. Cause I got voters and you ain't got none. If you want a battle, come and get some. But if you do, you're a fool, cause DT is the best. After we take your seat, then you can protest. I got the skill, come get your fill. Cause when it's said and done, I'm standing still. I came to get down, I came to get down. So get out your seat and jump around, jump around, jump around, jump around. Jump up, White House bound. Trump, 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 everybody jump. Trump, 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 everybody jump. Trump, 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 Trump.